presentation of Jez Sports. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Main Event Podcast. I'm Jeremy. That's Daniel. We're here today to discuss WWE Crown Jewel 2023, which I believe is our first Crown Jewel that we've actually bothered to do rather than boycotting it because it's a blood money show, but I may be wrong. I felt like we did it last year, but then I went back and had a look, and we did... what did we do? I think we did the Wembley SummerSlam again.
Oh, did we do that one?
Yeah, because I was like, I've probably got Crown Jewel graphics already. I won't need to make an effort. And then I went back and looked through, and there was nothing there. So I believe that this is the first Crown Jewel / Saudi show that we have covered on the Main Event Podcast, because we had boycotted them, but unfortunately they are a fact of life, and we kind of have to get over it a little bit as journalists, if you can call us that, as people who talk about wrestling and stuff,
as people who talk rubbish.
Yeah, that's probably the best description, actually.
Yes.
Speaking of rubbish, we also predict these events, and we are coming into this show for that World Prediction Championship on Dan's shoulder. I'm on 92, Dan's on 96. And there are, as of recording, 2 weeks left. The end of this week, and then 2 more weeks until Survivor Series. Yeah. Or is it 3 weeks? I think it's 2 weeks till... It's a week Saturday to Full Gear, and then Survivor Series the week after, isn't it? So
something like that.
There is some time left between now and the end of this quarter in which we will decide whether it stays on Dan's shoulder or whether it comes home to Pappy and goes on my shoulder.
Comes home. You've never had this one.
I haven't had that one, no, but I did have the old one, and
the old one, which is sat over there, actually.
Well, there you go. It's got to be sat somewhere, and soon it can be sat here with the other one.
Yes.
But anyway, yes. So we'll run through this, going through our predictions as we go. I will say, wasn't massively enthused by this event.
No.
To be honest. And I watched it with friends. I had friends round and watched it with them. And, that usually enhances the experience and makes it more fun. Yeah.
But no.
No, not so much.
No.
But, as we said, we are people who talk rubbish, aka journalists, and we will crack on regardless. This event started on the kickoff show with a match that had Sami Zayn taking on J.D. McDonough. Just
to get Sami Zayn there.
Yeah. He's gone from, I will never do this event in my life ever because, Syria, Saudi relations, to I'm the favourite best thing going on in Saudi Arabia, and I'm going to totally embrace that. And I don't really understand how that switch flipped. But, here we are. Good for him, I guess. It's nice for him to get a big reaction somewhere other than Montreal. Did he need to be in a kickoff match rather than on the main show? Probably not, no. But, I mean, what would you kick there instead? Yeah. Not that any of the other matches were particularly special, but what would you kick there? I would probably put this on the main show as an extra match and then just have no kickoff match, as they used to do for these shows. They
did that for a long time, don't they?
Yeah. But anyway, the good, the bad, and the ugly, sir, of this kickoff match.
Wow. I liked the kind of technical start that was going on. Yeah.
Oh, was that it? Is that all you got?
That's about it for the good. I've got one. I think when McDonough caught Sami with a drop kick when he jumped off the top rope, it just looks clean and on point. Yeah. And then I've got the welt on McDonough's side.
Do you have that in bad or ugly?
More ugly.
Yeah, I think it being there is ugly, and the way that it happened is bad. I think if we're summing it up.
It was. Was it from the way that? And I've got it written here. When land ropes after Sammy did the flip thing.
Yeah,
I always forget the names of it.
Yeah, the monkey flip fail is how I've described it. Yeah. I think he was just a bit too sweaty, and then as Sammy went to like push off with his feet, his boot kind of, I don't know, it must have suctioned into the sweat or oil or whatever and just scraped along his side, because it looked like a massive carpet burn. Like it was a friction burn of some kind, and it obviously came from the boot. But I mean, he's kind of lucky that it was just a graze on his back, because it could have been far worse. He did land on the top of his head, and it could have been far worse. So I suppose we should count our blessings in that for JD McDonough. But it's fundamental though.
Yeah, but apart from that, this kind of felt like a kickoff show.
Yeah, it was even a match that happened for the kickoff show, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing special, decent enough. Yeah. We'll move on then. Predictions. We both went for Sami Zayn, so we get to start the show
surprise.
as the ones.
We the ones.
Still repping my Bloodline shirt, even though it's not the same anymore. Where is he? That side. Yeet. Gone. Yeet. Yeet. Out of the Bloodline. That's what he's done. Yeet. World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeeted.
Kicking off the main show, which is a bold move. Seth Rollins defending against Drew McIntyre. I wanted to like this match.
Yeah.
I really did. I didn't. And
no.
I think of all of the matches on the card, this was the one that the internet liked the most and thought it was good. I did not, really.
I wasn't overly fond of it at all.
I've got more bad than good. And one of my goods didn't even take place during the match. So there's that. My one and only good within the match is Seth Rollins playing possum to avoid the Claymore and to do a sneaky roll up. That was a fun little moment. The other good is afterwards, and that's Sami Zayn stealing the briefcase. I thought that was a fun little thing. Bads.
Go.
And this is an overarching bad, not just from this match, but life in general, as pertains to Seth Rollins. I am tired of this bad backstory. And it just makes everyone that can't beat Seth Rollins look like trash. It's like, okay, I am the champion, and I have a bad back. I have whatever it is. Is it cracked or ruptured or whatever they said?
Fractured
vertebrae
or something.
Like, it sounds bad, and in reality would mean that you would not be doing this. And so if he can beat top caliber guys like a Drew McIntyre, a Shinsuke Nakamura with the bad back, then it just makes them look like they're not very good, doesn't it? Like you can't beat an almost crippled man. Come on, guys, it's just bad storytelling, and they need to drop it. And I don't know how they're going to drop it, because, well, I mean, it's WWE. They'll be like, and I'm miraculously healed. Everything's fine. I went to see a shaman, and my back's better now. So, look out, everyone, because I'm 100%. It's just a silly story, and I don't like it. And then it's the trifecta of kicking out of things you shouldn't have kicked out of. Kicking out of the pedigree, kicking out of the stomp, kicking out of the Claymore. Awful. And that's what I got. Anything from you?
No.
So disappointing. This was supposed to be a great match, and I did want to believe as well that they would consider giving Drew McIntyre the belt, but it became very clear very quickly in this match that wasn't going to happen, and then the whole thing became a bit inevitable, really. So that is not what I predicted, though. Like you, I went for Seth freaking Rollins, so that means that we move each to 2. Thank you. Next up, could it get any worse?
Oh.
Yes, it could. Fatal 5-way Women's World Championship match. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Zoe Stark versus Shayna Baszler. Oh, and isn't this wonderful? You get to talk about it first. Take a deep breath. I'm sure you've got plenty of positive things to say. Over to you.
Just Nia Jax. Why is she back?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
But it wasn't even just her in this match. I'm like,
no.
Is anyone going to do anything, or what?
No. Do you know what? There was one big bit that really annoyed me.
Yeah, what's that?
That submission that Baszler had on Raquel, Rhea, and Nia.
Yeah.
And they were all just stood around waiting for Zoe to break it up. It's like, come on, guys. And even Nia just went, oh, screw it. I'm just going to pretend to pass out. See, just go limp. It's like, yeah, that means she's won, ref.
Yeah, if one of your opponents pass out, that's the end of the match.
It's like, and you could just see them just kind of like, just there. Rhea Ripley was pulling some funny faces.
I have got it in my goods, and I think that's more because I like the concept of it. Like the idea of locking
the concept of it.
3 people in a submission, and it started off good, but I think it did go on too long, and Zoe Stark needed to get in there a bit earlier, but I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, but that is my only good in the list. So
I don't know where to put it, but the riptide from the top rope to break up the pin and then doing the pin. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's more the fact that I feel like she pinned the wrong person, because she did the riptide onto Raquel. I think it was Raquel. I would have preferred it if she'd pinned Raquel, or I can't remember who she riptide. Who did she riptide?
Oh, God knows. That's the problem with 5 people. It's probably Zoe Stark. Yeah,
it was probably Zoe. But then she went to pin. I'm presuming it's Baszler,
the person who was doing the pinning,
who was most padded, probably.
Yeah, but the person who was originally being pinned, was it?
Yeah,
rather than the pinner.
They had basically the most protection from the riptide, so she goes for the pin on them.
Yeah, and had the most time to rest.
Go for the pin on the person you've just slammed into somebody else or the other person. Yeah. It
was all a bit clunky, to be honest.
It was.
And that's what's going to happen when there are 5 people trying to do wrestling all at the same time. It's difficult. It's not an easy prospect, and that's why you shouldn't have 5-way matches, because they're nonsense.
Yeah.
I did go into it hoping that it would be a bit better than your average kind of triple threat match. It would adopt the fatal 4-way mantra of 2 people can always be fighting for the majority of the time. You might get one because as the odd person out who has to do the lying around triple threat thing, but you would hopefully get at least 2 groups of people fighting all at the same time. But no, apparently 5 people just means it's even more turn-takey than a triple threat, and you still only get 2 people fighting one-on-one, and everyone else lies around outside the ring. So it made it even less credible than your average triple threat match. And I now hate fatal 5-ways more than triple threat matches, and
Jesus Christ.
I didn't think that was a thing that was possible, but here we are.
My God.
Mark the date, people. On this day, Jez saw clearly.
I see clearly.
Everything came to light, and that is that fatal 5-ways are trash. And also an inevitable outcome. Great, because we both got it right, but very inevitable. Rhea Ripley for the win, which takes us each to 3. Have we won now? John Cena versus Solo Sikoa.
Go on, man.
It's me, innit? Oh, yeah, right. To its credit, I've got no bad and no ugly.
Yeah.
The goods.
Have you got any good?
I do have 2 goods. Yeah.
Okay.
I liked in the early portion of the match how Cena was working on the hand and wrist of Solo Sikoa to try and prevent him from being spiked later in the match. Was that completely negated by the fact that Solo went absolutely ham with the Samoan spike? Yes, it was like John Cena wasted his time. And perhaps that's the case, if we're being honest about it. Perhaps he did waste his time. I know that the internet hates this and that the majority of people hate this. I did like Solo Sikoa just going absolutely ham with the spike and just totally annihilating John Cena with the spike. Because the purpose of this match was to put Solo Sikoa over. And you know what? Mission accomplished. Yes. I know that it was a bit overkill. And did we need quite as many spikes? Would it have been more impactful to just get a couple of really good spikes in and put John Cena down? Maybe. But you also are trying to give credit to the greatest of all time and show that it isn't a walk in the park to beat him. So a billion Samoan spikes it is. So I have mixed feelings, but I'm leaning more towards liking the Spike Fest than not.
Yeah, I did that. Have that in my goods. The 11 Samoan spikes.
Yeah, and in general, it's difficult because obviously John Cena is not as old as a lot of competitors who are still going and are still going at a high level, but John Cena has lost it, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
And it's probably because he hasn't been working a full-time schedule, so he isn't in ring shape, and it takes a long time to get back in ring shape, and that time is never going to be devoted because we were all waiting for the day, and that day was yesterday when the SAG-AFTRA strike ended, and John Cena would piss off back to Hollywood. And so I think that's probably where we are now. So the fact that he has been annihilated and potentially retired by Solo Sikoa has come at a perfect time. I don't think we see John Cena again in this calendar year, at least. He might come back around for one last, retirement match at some point. But I think even John Cena knows that he's got to put in a lot more effort than he is capable of from a time point of view. Not that to say he couldn't get back into ring shape and do that. I'm sure he could. He's not a slouch. But now that he's going back into a Hollywood schedule, he's also got all the other things that he does that are still going to crop up, like Wipeout, which I always giggle when they advertise that on AEW. They're like, John Cena and Nicole Byer in Wipeout. I'm like, John Cena at one point was mentioned on Collision at the same time as he was fighting. I think it was at Fastlane. I think that was a Saturday one. And it was like, John Cena is on both of the major promotions right now. He's on screen in both of the major promotions. But yeah, that's funny. So
funny.
Long story short, he's gone. And
he's gone.
At least Solo Sikoa got the John Cena rub from it.
Bye-bye, John. Bye-bye, John.
Yeah. At least this wasn't predictable, because you know what? They built up the idea that John Cena had not won a singles match since like 2019 or whatever it was. And I'm like, well, this is going to be it then, isn't it? This is going to be John Cena winning a match and then riding off into the sunset. How wrong we were. So we both went for John Cena. So we both got it wrong. We'll stay on 3 apiece, and I'm not necessarily mad about it.
No.
Now then, this is more a question. Are we going to give any airspace to the weird comedian Miz TV segment?
No.
Okay, good talk. Moving on. United States Championship. Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah.
It's over to you, and I'm jealous.
Yeah. As I always say, it annoys me how good Logan Paul is in the ring.
Yep.
Really, really, really annoys me.
Yep.
Especially when he had the instinct to save Rey Mysterio from falling on his head.
Yeah. Yeah, I called that as it happened. I'm like, he just saved Rey Mysterio from at best a concussion, at worst paralysis and death.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolute pro move by Logan Paul to step in and stop Rey Mysterio from landing on his head. Absolutely fair play. And people are trying to talk it where it's like, no, Rey knew what he was doing and he was going to land on his arms. I'm like, okay, so best case scenario, breaks his arm because he brings his entire body weight down onto his arm. No, Logan Paul saved him. Can you just... I know he's not a very likable person and he's made a lot of mistakes, but let's give credit where it's due. He stepped up, literally, and saved Rey Mysterio in that, and he needs his kudos for it because it could have been very different otherwise. Yeah. And I don't know how Rey Mysterio managed to cock that up, frankly. That's very un-Rey Mysterio-like.
Yeah. Perhaps it's kind of getting up.
It could be. It could be that he's getting on a bit, for sure. Yeah. Right. What else did you like about this?
The fall away slam moonsault.
Yeah, I couldn't put into words what it was. I'm like, what did I actually end up putting on there? Super fall away suplex? Question mark. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but it was
fall
ace.
Away slam moonsault because I think Wade Barrett said it.
Fair enough.
I was like, okay, that's what it is. I'm going to call it that. So that was, again, that shows that Logan's been putting in the hours of practice. It was kind of funny. Logan's buddy handing him a brass knuckles, but then also Santos Escobar chasing him off, but then taking the brass knuckles and just leaving them conveniently.
Well, you know
on the
what?
Side of a ring.
It's been a long time coming, and I've called for it here, and as have many people around the internet.
Yeah.
Santos Escobar is turning heel on Rey Mysterio at some point. It's going to happen.
He better.
And this is the start of it, I think, when probably Rey Mysterio has a bit of a go at him for leaving the brass knuckles there for Logan Paul. It would be justified to do so. But I did like the sneaky dude with the knucks and skulking around underneath the level of the ring. That was a fun, entertaining moment. I've no idea who that guy is, and quite frankly, I don't care to know who that guy is. No. But it was funny.
It was funny. I liked the brass knuckle win.
Yes, me too.
Just because it's Logan Paul. He's a heel. Is what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah, at no point should we be liking Logan Paul. So other than him doing really well in the ring, mission accomplished.
Yeah. Apart from that, just a good match.
Yeah, and this was the match of the night for my money.
It was.
Yeah, and it's not like it was a 5-star match, but it was decent. There were some special spots in it. I felt like everybody else on this card phoned it in. Quite honestly, and it's just we've got to put a match together. Let's do all the things we normally do and call it a day. Whereas, Logan Paul is trying his arse off to put special moments into matches, and it's probably to show off and boost his ego. But you know what? If it's entertaining, by all means, go at it. Show off and show out. Do it with a phone in your hand. I don't care as long as it's entertaining. Go for it. So I've got no bad, I've got no ugly, and I'm happy with the outcome. We both predicted that Logan Paul would win the United States Championship. I felt like it's time. It's time that he held the title, and this has the added bonus of Logan Paul being a free agent. And so the United
Yeah.
States Championship is now a traveling belt, and he can face all
Yeah.
manner of people.
Yeah.
The prevailing rumor is that he will drop it to LA Knight at WrestleMania, which is a stupid idea. And I hope if that is the plan, that they nix it immediately based on my say-so. Stupid idea. LA Knight is better than the US title at his current level of hype.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is not good enough. That's going to ground LA Knight back into the mid-card, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Let's make this the kind of workhorse title, because, you know, the defenses of the Intercontinental title have slowed down now, and Gunter is basically fighting giant people to have like more physical matches rather than it being the kind of technical match on the card that it always was. And it's just not really defending it very often either. So defend this against the best wrestlers in the company and come up to their level, Logan Paul, because I think it's very clear that you can do that. Yeah. Logan Paul versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Imagine that. That would be a great one.
Oh, that'd be good.
Who else have we got? Let me think. Yeah. No, can't think. Don't know who else it could be, but there's plenty of technical wrestlers.
Yeah.
We both got that right. Takes us to 4 apiece. Boom.
4 horsemen.
Okay, the next match. For the WWE Women's Championship, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair.
It's you.
All I've got to say, really, is Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane.
That's
She's
the good.
Back.
And that's about all the good in this match.
That's about it.
Which is disappointing, considering it's Io frickin' Sky, Bianca Belair, who are probably 2 of the best women in the company, and that was the best that we got from them. It's a bit weird that was the case.
Yeah.
The only other thing to add to that is after Bianca went back into the ring, Io Sky timing the moonsault to hit basically as soon as she rolled back in the ring. I felt like the timing of that was really nice.
That was good.
But other than that, this match happened.
Yeah, it happened. All we can say is Kairi Sane.
Yes, and it does seem like they're going to put a little Joshi group together in WWE, which is incredible. I never thought that would ever happen. And rumours are swirling about who other members, a 3rd or 4th member, could be. And one that I'm very excited about the prospect of, but I don't see it happening for at least another 6 months, is Julia from New Japan / Stardom, the current New Japan Strong Women's Champion.
Yeah.
She's incredible. Like, I think she's Japanese Italian or Italian Japanese, whichever way around you want to get it. And like, so she can come and promo in English as well, I think. And she's great in the ring. Putting her in that group.
Yeah.
The only thing I would be slightly disappointed about is the other kind of rumors that are swirling. I don't want Asuka in this group.
No,
that's a pointless thing for me. Asuka's better as a lone wolf. I can't even remember her name. Stupid onesie NXT girl with the pillow.
Wendy
Chu, yeah. I mean, obviously she was that kind of badass leader of the Chinese gang in NXT, and they nixed that. That was cool, but
that was cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now this sleeping thing.
Yeah, but she was injured and is due to return from injury, so I hope they don't just shove her in there.
Yeah.
And the other one was bringing back Saray, whom I thought did not do very well in WWE at all. So, like, she was terrible on NXT, and she was not terrible, in New Japan, in Japan, full stop. I don't know why I'm trying to classify it. So I don't know what happened there, but I just think it's a very different style in WWE, and she just did not adapt to it very well at all. So I'm not enthused by the rumoured additions to this group, other than Julia, but she's signed and can't escape for a while without special exception. So it'll be a while before that happens. But yay, Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane.
And we both correctly predicted that Io Sky would win this match. Was inevitable. So that makes us both have just 5 points.
Just 5 points. Lovely.
Next up, the semi-main event, Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest.
Yeah. I feel like this was a bit of a letdown.
It was an anticlimax, considering it should be fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, down the line,
But
this
no.
being a potential world championship match candidate with one of these as champion would be cool, but
yeah,
I
don't have any negatives.
I've got that it took a while to get going. It got there in the end,
Yeah.
but it was such a slow, dull start.
Yeah, I don't really have any negatives, but I don't really have many positives either.
I've got a few positive
so
things.
I liked that Priest attacked before the bell.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Then I liked that Judgment Day trying to get interfere, and then Jay just super kicking the hell out of everyone.
Yeah, I've got Jey Uso super kicking everybody as one of my my goods.
I know I do have a bad kicking out of South of Heaven.
Yeah.
Finisher kick out.
It was, and I would have accepted it a bit more had Priest gone on to win, but he didn't. And the only reason I would have accepted it is if he'd have used his version of Crossroads to win. And I do like that he went back to that, because he stopped doing it when Cody joined the company. I don't even know what he called his version of it now. It's been so long.
Reckoning.
That's it, thank you. But yeah, I guess he stopped using it out of respect for Cody when he came back, because it was very much in NXT obvious, he's poached this from Cody.
Yeah.
Because it was at the time that Cody was at the height of his like TNT championship reigns and things in AEW. The only other good I've got is the Super Cody Cutter. I thought that was quite nice.
Yeah.
A disappointing, anticlimactic match.
Yeah.
But we did predict it correctly, at the very least. We both went for Cody Rhodes, which means we move to the Motor City for 6 points.
Yeah.
If that's where it even is.
Motor City.
Okay, main event. If you can believe it. Undisputed Championship. Roman Reigns versus L.A. Knight.
You still haven't made a thing for that.
I haven't. No. I have made a new thing, though, you know? And I do enjoy it. It's fun. I quite like that. I'm not sure how we're going to mix that in, but I will. I will force it in because it's just such a delightful clip. But yes, you're right. I do need to have a for when we LA Knight it up. We absolutely do.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's you, isn't it? The good, the bad, and the ugly of the main event. Okay, it's me. Fine. I've got very little to say about this match because it didn't really do anything.
No.
There was nothing special. The outcome was obvious. The only real positive thing to come from it is that it was great to see LA Knight absolutely hang in the main event with the main event guy in WWE. You know, it's not like he looked out of place. It looked like he belonged in a world championship match. But we all knew that it was never going to be a thing.
Yeah.
As much as they teased it. They teased a lot of things, and we knew that Roman Reigns would be walking out still undisputed champion. But like much of this event, it was just, we'll do some matches. Some people will win, and then we'll fly back home again. And this was the last booked appearance for Roman Reigns in this calendar year. No more Roman in 2023, apparently.
Oh, dear me.
Yeah. I mean, they better throw some money at him to come and do one more thing. Even if it's
better.
like a tag team match in the whatever the December pay-per-view is, probably TLC, is it? I don't know. Who knows? They make them up as they go along now, which I'm not against. I like variation in pay-per-views. But yeah. What a damp squib this match and the rest of the event was, with the exception of the US title match.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
At least we got the prediction right on this.
We did get the prediction right on this, and yeah, before we move into a final rating for this show, which will be fun, we each picked up a point here for the correct prediction of Roman Reigns, which means we finished the show on 7.
Wherever that is.
Yeah, I think we said New Mexico, didn't we? Which means that the prediction score to date after WWE Crown Jewel, if I can find the button with our things, there it is. I am now on 99, almost tipping that 100.
Almost.
And you have blasted past it and are on 103.
Like 100.
But yeah, unsurprisingly, we got the same score from this event, so therefore our score has increased the same amount, and the deficit still remains at 4 for those that can maths. And if you can't, I just told you. Hello, Ali. Welcome in. Hello, everyone lurking as well. Don't think I've said hello to the general audience. Just ignored them because, why not? But hello, whether you're watching now or watching later. Welcome in. A rating then. And being that this is the first time that we have done a Saudi event, Crown Jewel, or any of the others that they had under different names, the only rating system I can probably bring to my head. Dan, I ask you on this day to give me a rating out of 5 gallons of oil.
Nice. It was just fine. So I'm just going to go 2.5.
Yeah. I can't argue with that, really. 2.5 is fair. What a waste. Like, I am staying up for the other pay-per-views now. Like, I'm in an American kind of time zone sleep-wise. So it's not like I'm saying, oh, this is one of the few events I got to watch live anymore. But you'd have expected something special for an event at a different time.
Yeah.
It really was phoned in. Like, massively phoned in. We've got War Games coming up in a couple of weeks. So there's that. That'll hopefully be exciting. Yeah. What's his face? Adam Pearce did his best, William Regal, for
did his best
for the announcement of War Games on Raw. So credit where it's due. He tried.
Bless him.
And that about wraps up our show. I don't know when we're back. I think we've got a couple of weeks grace until AEW Full Gear. I think that's the next one. But yeah. So enjoy the time away, and we'll be back for 17 hours of AEW Full Gear on the Tuesday following the 18th of November. Until next time, I've been Jez.
I've been Dan.
This has been the Main Event Podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.